Hello, it's Mr. Finger here. We're going to show you today how to get this into the laser. So I've got a simple headphone stand I did last year, and I'm going to get it ready for the laser, and we'll actually go to the laser application. So we're going to add what's called Kiri Moto. So if you have it already, you'll see it by clicking plus in applications. If you don't, you're going to just see the App Store, and we're going to go to App Store. And we're going to search for Kiri Moto, Kiri colon Moto. And then we're going to click here and choose on the right, subscribe. That's going to get us a free subscription. It is free. And I'll show you how to do this all when we go back here. So you might have to reload if it's not there. I recommend just reloading your project. And now we should have it. Applications, and there it is, Kiri Moto. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to create a new Kiri Moto. We're going to have to authorize it. And here we go. So by default, you might see this showing up as FDM. Probably will if you haven't used it before. That is not the right mode. So we want to click on the upper left and go over to laser. We have a Glowforge in our room, so we'll use this. And I believe I have it set correctly, 500 millimeters by 300 millimeters. And you can just click the X on that, and that should change the bed size. So this is the size of our laser bed, and we're going to put our pieces on here. The first thing I recommend you do is to fix the layers. So we're not going to use this to actually do a slice, which is what it's designed for. We're just going to do a single layer, which means all of your pieces are going to be flat, and it's going to make a layer right through them. So you'll click on layers, make sure the single is selected. Now we want to bring in our pieces. So we're going to import our parts. I recommend you can do them all at once with a part studio, just to make sure they lay flat, especially if you have some vertical ones and some horizontal ones. You can choose by parts. If it works, you can do the whole part studio. I'm going to do individual parts. So I'm going to grab my first piece here and bring it in, and that looks pretty good. There's my base. I'm going to bring in my next piece, which is one of these, and I'll show you how to duplicate in here. So that one is not facing the right direction. So I'm going to right click or two-finger tap and choose lay flat. And you might get a weird thing happening here. Click on it, lay flat, you'll get it. And then you can move it around. So it just takes a little finesse. Don't worry where you place everything. Kiri Moto is going to move everything around for you, and you're going to fix that in the Glowforge app. So let's get our last piece, import our last piece. It's going to be this one. And like I said, it's probably going to be facing the wrong way, so we're going to lay flat, and you're going to get some weird things happening. I think if you click on it first and lay flat, it works. So click on it first, lay flat. Okay, so we can bring that. We want to bring this onto the bed so it's not sitting way out there. And so there we go. Get this back. So you don't want them. Well, it probably doesn't matter, but just so you can see everything. Okay, so now my drawing in my Part Studio 1, I have two pieces of boards, so I need to duplicate this one. So right click and duplicate. So there we go, and it's rearranging everything. You can turn that off in one of the settings here. I'm not exactly sure, but we can just move things around by clicking on them. Kiri Moto does want to do things on its own, so sometimes you just have to click and override it. So there we go. We've got everything. So you can check to see if everything's going to fit on your piece of cardboard or your piece of wood here, but we'll do that in the actual Glowforge application. So I believe I only had one of these. So these are all my pieces. So the next thing I want to do is what's called a slice. Now, this is where you want to make sure that you click single on layers, and then you can preview your slice. So this is going to show you what the laser is going to do, how it's going to move. So these are the move lines, and here are the cut lines. So there should be some arrows on these showing the direction of the moves and cuts. although I maybe have to preview it again. You can go back by clicking the back button up here and slice preview. You're not getting arrows on our slide. So this is okay if it goes off the edge, as long as you test fit and made sure it would fit on that bed. Really, it's going to come down to your size, piece of cardboard or wood. Now, once you're done, you can export this, and we'll choose SVG. You can change the name if you want, SVG download, and then we'll save that just to our downloads for now. Okay, now that we have that file, we are ready to go to the Glowforge app. Now you'll have to get this from me. I'll do an email where you'll get a Glowforge account, but it is app.glowforge.com. So once you have that set up via the email you'll receive from me, you should see something like this. So we're going to create a new design. A couple things to look at here are your saved designs. So if you did work on something previously but didn't get it cut, you'll have it here. But we're going to do a new upload from file, and that's the SVG file that I just downloaded, and I'm going to open that up, and it's going to say your design is being prepared, and in a second we'll have our design. Okay, it's given it a name, and as you can see, it's not quite laid out well. So what we can do is we can move things around just like that. We can move them up. You're going to want to nest. It's called nesting. Get things so they waste as little material as possible. You can draw a box and move two pieces at the same time. So I'm trying to get these to fit nicely on a piece of cardboard. I bet you I'm going to find more rectangular cardboard. If you hold shift down while you're grabbing this rotate, it'll snap nicely. And we're going to try for this. And here's my little bracket. So these are all my pieces. So let's see if I can find a piece of cardboard to fit. So once you're on the app, you're going to have two options for lasers. They're labeled 822 or RJH 822 and WCH 888. So I'm using the one, I have the other one off right now, so I'm using the 888. So we'll go find a piece of cardboard. I don't know if I have one that's big enough right now, but let's just go and look at the laser right now and see if that works. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're looking at the laser now. So you should see in a moment, you'll see that piece of cardboard show up on our laser bed. It says scanning in the upper right, and that is taking a picture of that piece of cardboard. So we can see that I might be able to get this one on here. You can cut in multiple, you can do multiple cuts. You can also get multiple pieces of cardboard on there. Let me go back to rotating it the other way and see if I can get it horizontally. Remember, shift is a nice handy tool there. And let's go down here and see if I can get one of these on the top. Maybe I can get one on here. So it's very important you don't just place all of your pieces right in the middle of your drawing. You want to move them of your cardboard, sorry. You want to move them to the side as close as you can. So in this case, I'll move them to the right. Maybe someone can use this little piece, maybe not. I can actually squeeze this one over here. But you definitely don't want to cut right in the middle of anything cardboard or paper or wood, especially wood. So it doesn't matter if that's going to just cut out like a cookie cutter. Doesn't matter which direction. Looks like I'm going to have to wait for this one. So I can just I can actually do a couple things. I can cut that and oh, hang on. I can cut, paste as new step. So I can actually save that for later. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm actually going to remove. So this is still showing that piece there. So this one is down there. You can see which step it is. I'm going to delete this one now. So this is just those pieces. So notice I have enter settings. So once I get everything laid out, I'm going to enter my settings. So this Okay, I need to re-record this part of the video, so it might have jumped a little bit here. So we're at with our layout. I actually did the cut, so you can do this before you put your cardboard on there, which is why actually this is a good thing to show. You're not seeing your cardboard there because you haven't had a chance to get to the laser or into the queue yet. So we separate out our pieces. We have our two sections here, our two steps, and we're going to work on this first step, which is going to fit our cardboard. So we're going to enter settings. I've got some saved here, but I'm going to create a new one. So you're going to go down to the manual settings, and we're going to choose, this is going to be cardboard. The settings are on the board for cardboard. It's going to be 225 is the speed. It's going to be full power, and it's going to be an autofocus height. Other materials will require different focus and number of passes, so please be aware of that. We can save this. I recommend you do because you might have to cut again, especially if you have another one to do. Click Save As and call it Cardboard and save it. Now it's going to ask one more question before you can print, and that is to click on the material type. It's saying, I have it offline now, but it's asking for a material type here, and we're going to use an uncertified material. Cardboard is between 4 and 5 millimeters. You can just put 4 here. It's pretty safe. It's the settings we use for cardboard are usually pretty good, so nothing is left uncut. So we're going to submit that, and that now we should see 225 full, and this with this was on, it would say ready to print. One thing to show you here is we can change units from inches to centimeters. If you type when you do the thickness, it will convert it to inches, but I leave mine on centimeters. Make sure you leave this Glowforge filter attached checked to be on. That controls the fans in the unit. So when we're done with this, we are going to head over to the laser cutter, and we're going to get the filter turned on and get ready to cut. Oh, one last thing. Since we're not cutting this one, we can choose ignore, and now it's showing you this one is going to be ignored. So notice the color difference. This is the red, the brighter red, and this is more of a purplish red. So that can just sit right over here. It doesn't matter where it is. This is going to be on the piece of cardboard. And head over there. We're going to turn on the air filter, which is a critical step. You might not be able to hear me, but I'm going to show you where it is and how to turn it on. It's right down here. It's got a green button. Make sure that green button's on. It takes a minute, a couple seconds to turn on. You'll hear it. A lot more noise than the laser cutter. Okay, once you hear that going, you know you're ready to cut. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our so it won't tell you that the filter is running. It's completely separate from the Glowforge. So, but we can do right now is click our print button. Now that we know the filter is, the air cleaner is running, our air filter. And now let's switch over to the camera. We'll see that it's centering and figuring out where it needs. It's doing the autofocus. Moving the head around. It goes back, and then we'll wait for this light to turn and blink. So that is your sign that you are ready to print. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is check. We'll just look at what it says over here. It says magic time. You might have to click on I approve for the first time you cut. It's going to take 1 minute and 19 seconds, and we've already hit print. So we go over to the laser cutter and we click that button. So let's do that. And you do want to keep an eye on your cutting. Oh, it looks like my camera might have froze over there, so you're not seeing the live updates. The USB connector is a little loose on it. So, but trust me, we are cutting, and we are counting down this screen here. When you're done, make sure you wait for the app to say, we'll wait 45 seconds to say your cut is done. Make sure the light on the button has gone off, and you want to give it a few seconds to clear the smoke out before you're done. So that is an important step. So let me see if I can get that camera to come back on. Okay, there we go. So we're seeing it do the cuts. Okay, so now you're going to see a change. It's cooling down. Keep the lid closed for a moment longer. And the light is going to go off and the fan will stop. It's going to, yeah, just keep the lid closed. Okay, once it says print is done, you'll get an idea for how long that is. You don't have to look at your computer. Once it's done, you can dismiss this. I'll just show you this before we go and look at our pieces. We can go back to our home page here and you'll see here's my saved design. I can go back later and get back in the queue, and I still have the ignore piece here, so I can go back to it. So let's go look at the laser. I'll switch back over to that camera and we'll look at what we got. So you want to keep the lid closed as long as you can. It keeps the smell down. But there are our parts, nicely cut. The settings worked well. So that would makes you clean all your pieces off of the laser bed, so the next person can get on there quickly. Thanks so much. That is the end of our little video.